And we're frazzled for a second.
There was a sticky note on me.
Woosah.
Here at the Point, agnostics, atheists, humanists, and all kinds of seekers gather in community. No matter what you believe or don't believe or where you come from, you are welcome here and you are loved. And welcome to our online viewers and everywhere members watching from all over the world. Please consider staying for our coffee hour conversations immediately following the service.
And if you're a first-time guest or new to All Souls, a special welcome. Our ushers have a small gift for you, so as they come down the aisle, if you'll raise your hand and keep it up so that we can identify you, that would be great. And then after the service, you're invited to Sonnen Library, which is right outside the sanctuary at the back of the foyer. We'll have some light refreshments, and you'll be able to meet members of our welcoming team.
And now we have our covenant. So now at this time, if you will please join us for a covenant that is printed in your order of service.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love,
and to help one another.
Welcome to All Souls, where we
Love beyond belief. Thank you. Our chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. The chalice represents the community and the flame and the search for truth. Today's chalice is lit by Nancy Coriel, Deborah Parkhurst, and Jennifer Topp, who are all members of the Women's Retreat this past Sunday. But we don't have a Nancy Coriel. Never mind. By Jennifer Topp and Deborah Parkhurst.
We light this chalice for the weavers, those who have worked with patience, with presence, joining one thread to another until something new emerges.
We remember we are part of a web we did not make and cannot see the edges of.
May this flame remind us the world is not built. The world is woven, and we are part of the weaver.
Long ago, in the time before there was time, when the world was new, before there were roads and too many people, there was a cave that was deep. A cave that we can't find anymore, but I think it's still there. A cave deep in the earth where an old woman sat, and I think she still sits today. And in that cave, she wove the most beautiful tapestries. Pictures that were unimaginable. And with each one, they just got better. She would weave and reweave, using brighter and brighter colors. She would make up colors. But on occasion, when she was weaving this gorgeous tapestry, she would begin to smell something. it was beginning to smell good. But she knew that if she waited too long, that good smell would burn. So she had to stop what she was doing, put her weaving down. Oh, there was a dog in the cave with her. So she had to scratch that dog on the head, say, "Be good." That's important, be good. And she would follow her nose to the very, very back of the cave where a huge cauldron sat over a flame, and inside that cauldron, bubbling away, was all of the seeds and the roots and the vegetables of the world, and she would stir that soup and stir that soup till they all started mingling and bubbling, and this way they wouldn't get scorched on the bottom. Because when they get scorched, it's not a good thing. All havoc breaks loose. You don't want them to scorch. And once she'd gotten them all loosened up, everything simmering just right, then she would go back to her weaving. Same stick. It took her a while to get back to that weaving. It was a big cave. And she would come back, but she'd left a loose thread, like all good weavers do. And that dog, every time that dog pulled on that thread, he couldn't help it. It was a loose thread. And he would pull on that thread until it all came apart. All of it. And she would have to start again. Maybe with a different color this time. Was she mad? Was she sad? This had happened over and over and over again. She had ideas. I think it was an opportunity to start again, to do something new, to create something else. Here ends our story for all ages. I invite our children to come to Sunday school with Miss Paula, who is waiting for you in the back. I'm going to stay in here today, but you all go with her, and you're going to do some crazy things about creating and destroying and recreating. You can go.
We come in a willingness to open ourselves and the care and concern we have for one another. We are reminded that in times of difficulty, we have this community to share our life's joys and sorrows. Today, we hold space for Stacy Lee, Catherine Craig, and Elizabeth Craig on the death of Daniel Craig, stepson of Stacy and half-brother of Catherine and Elizabeth on Saturday. We hold space for those in the community recovering from illness, in hospitals, or facing new and ongoing health challenges, for Dorothy Shakota having dental work and surgery tomorrow. And we hold all of those in celebration for those marking birthdays, anniversaries, or other life's events or milestones.
Good morning. We settle into this moment. Breath returns to the body. Light rests upon the earth. Notice your breath. No titles here. No arguments to win. Just breath moving in and out. Feel the ground beneath you, even when so much feels unsteady. Bring to mind one tender place in your life right now, a strain, a weight you've been carrying. Now widen the frame. Hold the strain of our nation, the unrest in our world, without fixing, simply holding. In this quiet, ask yourself, what kind of presence will I be in such a time? Let your breath anchor you. We enter the silence together.
Hold on, my dear one, here comes the dawn.
Connections are made slowly. Connections are made slowly. Sometimes they grow underground. You cannot tell always by looking what is happening. More than half a tree is spread out in the soil under your feet. Penetrate quietly as the earthworm that blows no trumpet. Fight persistently as the creeper that brings down the tree. Spread like the squash plant that overruns the garden. Gnaw in the dark and use the sun to make sugar. Weave real connections. Create real nodes. Build real houses. Live a life you can endure. Make love that is loving. Keep tangling and interweaving and taking more in, a thicket and bramble wilderness to the outside, but to us interconnected with rabbit runs and burrows and lairs. Live as if you like yourself, and it may happen. Reach out, keep reaching out, keep bringing in. This is how we are going to live for a long time, not always. For every gardener knows that after the digging, after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes.
I'd like to invite you to sing this song with me. Very simple. Hold on twice. It goes like this. Hold on, hold on. Just like that. Hold on, hold on. My dear ones, here comes Sing it to your neighbors.
Hold on, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn.
To this community.
Hold on, hold on, my dear one, here comes the dawn.
To the state of Oklahoma.
Hold on.
And Texas too.
Hold on.
And Kansas.
My dear one, here comes the dawn.
Maybe the United States.
Hold on, hold on, my dear one, here comes the dawn.
All around the world.
Hold on, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn.
We are all weavers, stitching together our lives with what we find, what is useful, what is lovely. I invite you to consider how you have woven and rewoven your lives over the years and imagine what you might like to weave next. I invite 3 of our participants in the women's retreat this weekend to speak for us, Miss Berkeley Schaus, Miss Francia Allen, and Miss Kate Starr, who have rewoven their lives.
Good morning. My name is Berkeley Schaus, and I wear many hats, but the ones that matter right now are mom and wife. I have a 9-year-old daughter, Violet, and a newly 6-year-old son, Jonas. I've been married to my husband, Caleb, for 10 years this fall. So I speak from experience when I say the traditional work of a wife and mother can feel overwhelming, almost Sisyphean. Laundry, dishes, homework, sports practices, repeat. Often thankless, seldom noticed unless it goes undone, almost never intrinsically rewarding. We do it anyways because it's got to be done. We take the threads of our being and we use them to mend holes in the lives of those around us. We cook meals, we kiss boo-boos, we keep a family's worth of appointments and birthdays and grocery preferences downloaded in our brains. And that work is important, but it isn't who we are. I knew my own soul was becoming threadbare when I began to envy Sisyphus. I mean, he's just got the one task to manage. When's the last time Sisyphus folded socks or waited in school pickup line? I realized then that I had cast myself as a supporting role in my own life. And it was time for me to be began reweaving my own life tapestry into something that had space for me. I believe that in our isolationist society, we have forgotten that we need community. We crave connection. So I decided my new tapestry would begin with connection. My daughter is a pretty incredible ice hockey player, so I learned to play hockey 3 years ago this week because I wanted to build that connection with her. Before my first lesson, I was so scared, but I did it anyways, and it turns out I love it. I joined a women's team and played with them for about 2 years. Together, we have celebrated birthdays, new babies, and many major milestones. We've carried each other through injury, illness, and loss. Each and every woman I played with gave me threads from their own tapestries to put into mine. I carry the strength and the confidence that they wove into my being everywhere I go. I no longer play on a team, but last year I began coaching youth hockey. Again, I was terrified. What if the kids can tell I don't know what I'm doing? I did. What if I fall down? I didn't. And what if they hate me? They don't. 3 days a week, I get to have a small impact on the lives of some really amazing kids. Not only that, I get to show all the kids, girls and boys, that a woman can be a coach too. For many of those kids, I'm the first female hockey coach they've ever had. I remember when I stepped on the bench for the first time, a little boy about 9 years old looked up at me and he said, "A girl coach? I've never had a girl coach." And I said, "Well, you can't say that anymore because here I am." He looked down, he seemed to chew on that for a few seconds, and then he simply turned back with a smile and gave me a fist bump. The next week, I was back on the bench. That same player looked at me, his eyes as wide as saucers, and said, "Another girl coach?" So I said, "It's still me. I'm gonna be here every week." And he grinned and said, "Awesome," and he skated off. And with that, it became normal to have a girl coach. One of the practices that I coach every week is an all-ages, girls-only practice. I have about 10 girls, ages 4 through 18, who show up every week to build both skills and community. And while I do aim to improve their skills, the main goal for this practice is to create a space for young women in a male-dominated sport. Each girl works at doing her best, and we focus on building each other up no matter what our results are. Then the most incredible thing happened. And I will not take credit for this because most of my girls had been playing hockey since before I came along, but the girls began to kind of dominate their co-ed games. They pass the puck, they communicate with their team, and of course they give it their all the time. Essentially, they are true team players, and it was working. The male coaches began to notice. They told the boys, "Watch those girls, see what they're doing." And the boys began to beg for the girls to be put on their teams. I believe that while, of course, every kid dreams of being the star player, they've started to realize that they really want to be part of a team. They are longing for the community that team sports can provide. It has been such a joy to witness the seeds of interconnectedness begin to sprout in all of those young minds. And while I so hope to make a lasting impact in at least a few of these kids' stories, I know for a fact that the threads of their precious lives will forever shine brightly in the tapestry of my own life. If you had told me 3 years ago that the free hockey lesson I signed up for to foster connection with my daughter would end up redirecting the course of my entire life, honestly, I may have skipped the class. Reweaving a life sounds pretty daunting and more than a little exhausting. But here I am, my once threadbare soul completely reinvigorated in the least expected way. I added a new hat to my wardrobe: mom, wife, and now coach. And I'm all the richer for it. Thank you.
Are we in the afternoon yet? Well, greetings. I had the privilege and honor of being asked to teach a hand weaving class for this weekend's Reweaving the World retreat. And I was happy to share a new skill that I had learned in a time where I was searching for a sense of expression, new expression, I should say. New expression, a new way to share my voice because I felt like it was muffled. And I wasn't doing the things I had been previously doing. I wasn't singing. I wasn't socializing as much and speaking as much. I was just kind of isolated, while at the same time being a caregiver, being a supportive family member, and providing safe spaces for others. And I was lacking the inspiration, and I was lacking a sense of groundedness. And so I was looking for a way to use my hands as a way of communicating and connecting and speaking. And a friend of mine invited me to a hand weaving class. So I learned this skill back in December, and as I began to weave the blanket we were weaving in this class, I started to feel parts of myself coming back. I started to reconnect to my fingertips and taking this yarn and this thread and weaving it through the loops and missing some loops and having to start all over and then reweave it again and put it back on track. And it began to remind me of life. I was connecting to my life while sitting there weaving this blanket. Now, I don't have a history of learning how to weave or sew and all those type of things, but this particular experience was for beginners. It was something easy I could do. I can take a loop and put a thread through it and pull it, right? And so it began a experience of the expression I needed. It was the voice I needed with my hands. Some people garden, and they like sticking their hands in the dirt and feeling the dirt between their fingers and all the things that comes with it, right? Well, for me, this is what touching the thread was, rejuvenating me. It was creative. And so fast forward to this amazing gift and Kate asking me to do this for the retreat. I had the honor of sitting and speaking with a lot of amazing women and sharing this skill, and I'm grateful for them for being open to have that experience. One of the things I shared was how, as we are weaving this whatever object they were weaving different little threads and all of that because they weren't able to do the large blanket that I did. The name of my blanket was Ernestine. And I brought it to show everyone how it goes and what it looked like. But anyway, as we were doing this, I just briefly shared how it reminds us of life and how we are weaving in and out of things. We are starting things and we are kind of having to undo something and start again and starting from scratch. And sometimes that's our greatest gift. Even when circumstances are inconvenient, and even when the bottom drops out and we hit rock bottom, it's still sometimes our greatest gift at starting over and creating something new. We take the broken pieces and the threads that come from that, and we can create what we want. We have a choice in how we choose to react and respond, and we weave something new with our lives. We reconnect with people. We start new relationships. Maybe we even end some. And so that is the gift of starting all over or reweaving in a different direction. Make sure I'm not going off here, but Right. So I wanted to just say that I've lived a little bit. I'm 51, but there are many of you in here who have lived longer than I have. And I am learning wisdom from you. I am learning inspiration from you because you have seen things that my eyes have yet to see. And I'm watching as you weave through things as new experiences happen, because each experience comes to teach us a lesson. And it's my hope that in the midst of those experiences that we are grasping the lesson, that we are embracing the lesson that those experiences come to teach us. Because no matter how old we are or how young we are, life is going to require that of us. Life will always happen in a way that causes us to have to acquiesce, to learn, to have to readjust, to have to reweave, or either to undo something, to make a mistake, fix that mistake, to be traumatized, be hurt, but then heal. And so I am learning from you. I am connecting to you because we are all connected. As we're looking at this world and we're seeing how not being kind can impact people's lives, we're seeing that. But we know how weaving with love, connecting with love, can make a mighty, strong, it's like mighty, but can make a nice, solid blanket of comfort. And so I just hope that we will continue to embrace those experiences and embrace those lessons. And most importantly, let's be kind of like how the saying that Maya Angelou has when she says, when you learn, teach. Let us continue to be teachers to one another. And there is a life scripture that I have always lived by. No matter what, we all may have our own different beliefs, but this particular scripture has been my guiding light. And it is Ephesians 3:20 that says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Because the power is in us, the choices are in us, and the ability is in us. We were built for such a time as this. So be encouraged, continue to weave and reweave as much as needed. All right, thank you.
Hi, y'all. So I'm one of those older people that Francia was talking about. And I am definitely a reweaver. I have recreated and rebuilt and rewoven my world many times. It never looks the same. It's never what I expected, and it's always beautiful. The first time I found myself hanging by a thread, I was 35 feet in the air. A ropes course element called the grapevine invites you to traverse this thin, woven steel thread cable that's strung between two trees, clinging to a series of ropes or vines intermittently hanging from another cable that's overhead. This experiential learning opportunity requires releasing your grip from one life-saving handhold in order to grasp the next. It's supposed to be a metaphor for letting go of what no longer serves us in order to move forward. This was an activity some of you may have done. It was a corporate team building technique in the 90s. It's a ritual, a spiritual ritual to me, that helps illustrate the universal truth of letting go to move forward. So here I was, dangling 35 feet in the air, my life passing before my eyes. All the times I had should on myself. I should marry that guy because my mom likes him. I should take this job because of this status symboling. I should buy a certain car or style of dress or a house in a certain neighborhood because of how it will appear or appeal to other people. I was up there paralyzed for at least 15 minutes or 15 hours or 2 weeks. I actually have no idea. Contemplating my past decisions and my future choices. It was a full-blown, full-body somatic experience of what Joseph Campbell calls the hero's journey. It's a call to adventure or a life challenge, discovering heretofore unknown inner strengths and gifts, accepting seemingly supernatural aid, and finally emerging with new knowledge and skills for the next phase of the journey. And this is a tool, a process, a ritual that I actually use quite often after that darn dog unravels my beautiful tapestry and it's time for me to start again, to let go of what should be in order to step into what could be. For example, when my integrity got in the way of my public relations career, and I felt the need for change, I signed up for an 8-day outward bound to go sea kayaking in the Outer Banks. I chose a challenge with repetitive movements, something kind of hypnotic, like a mantra, so that I could allow my thinking brain to rest and my supernatural subconscious to emerge with ideas, reveal hidden answers. So for the first 5 of 8 days, I repeated this motion in torrential rain. A nor'easter had stalled off the coast of North Carolina. I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner in torrential rain. I set up and broke down my tent in torrential rain. I cried, I laughed, and ultimately surrendered the illusion of control in torrential rain. On the 6th day, when the sun came out, bringing with it crowds carrying coolers and beach blankets, I looked at them like versions of myself before this heroine's journey and understood the meaning of fair weather fan. A Goldilocks who only engages fully in life when things are going well, when the weather is just right. And I was struck by how much we, or I, miss out trying to plan and prepare and make sure everything goes well. The disservice that I do if I'm always trying to be and make everyone else comfortable. Because truth is, there is no expanding our comfort zone without discomfort. There's no growth without growing pains, no creation without destruction, no finding myself without first feeling lost. And I don't know about you, but that's what I'm here to do. To learn and grow and experience and create and explore my vast interior landscape within this endlessly interesting exterior landscape and expand my comfort zone until it encompasses and merges with the whole wide world and everything in it. Now, don't get me wrong. I still hold on to people, places, and things that no longer serve me, often until the last thread snaps. But I have come to welcome these opportunities, the free fall into the unknown. I trust that when I leap, I'll land in a feather bed. Sometimes quite literally. Like when my 30-year marriage ended and I walked away from a home I absolutely loved. I leapt into the void, and now I live in a tree house. A nest on 9 acres on Lake Keystone, and get this, on Happy Valley Road. Or that time recently, after 7 years, when I was let go from my DEI position in corporate America, simply for trying to help the man be a better man. Turns out he wasn't that into me. But now I am a full-time spiritual director, and I'm hosting hero and heroines journeys for individuals and small groups. I am definitely a reweaver. And like the spiders who also enjoy the ecosystem of the cross timbers I call home, I'm no longer upset when my world is disrupted by a web wand wielded by some intrepid hiker who crosses my path. I simply go about the task of reweaving with welcome and wonder of what's next.
Thank you so much, ladies. Another round of applause for these guys. I have one more song I want to teach you. I know you all aren't the singingest group, but this is an easy one. It's called We Are the Ones, because we are the ones. I want you to know this. It goes like this. It's 2 parts. First part. We are the ones, we've been waiting. That's it. We are the ones, we've been waiting. Again. We are the ones, we've been waiting. Second part. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Raise your hand if you feel like you're a low voice. We are the ones. Raise your hands if you feel like you're a high voice. Oh, not very many. Okay, low voices. Here we go. You guys, stand up for me. You've been sitting for a long time. Stand up. You can do it. If you're able, rise in body or spirit. Here we go. We are the ones, we've been waiting. We are the ones, we've been waiting. You gotta keep this up. We are the ones, we've been waiting. Then anybody who wants to go, keep going. But anybody who wants to join me on the high part. We are the ones we've been waiting for. 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 We are the ones, we've been waiting. We are the ones, we've been waiting. And now Deborah Parkhurst is here to give us our announcements.
Pardon? Hi, I'm Deborah, and I have a cane today because I danced for an hour in this sanctuary yesterday. And I don't usually do that. So I have some announcements for you. Most people believe that home is the safest place that they know. For many survivors of abuse, it's the most dangerous. Domestic Violence Intervention Services, or DVIS, is the only nonprofit agency in Tulsa and the surrounding communities to provide comprehensive intervention and prevention services to individuals and families affected by domestic and sexual violence. So today's offering is going to DVIS. One of our All Souls traditions is to give our plate away to an organization in our community doing good works in the world. So please, give as generously as you can when the offering plate comes around. Today, you've got the opportunity to meet with Reverend Marlin for a presentation of all you need to know to support the building renovation campaign. You can ask questions and learn more at 12:45 in the chapel. Join the All Souls Reads group with its facilitator, Shannon Boston, this afternoon at 1:30 to discuss the book Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. You're also invited to celebrate All Souls' 105th birthday, Heritage Sunday, on March 22nd. We'll have one service at 10:30 that day. This special service honors our legacy, and it will be followed by birthday cake and fun over in Emerson Hall. For more information on our upcoming events and programming, please check out your order of service or visit the All Souls website or look for us on social media. Now we're going to watch a short video on our capital program.
At All Souls, the people that gather here, that stay here, they call this church their home. We have a tendency to understand our covenant, to help each other, to love each other, to help us go through whatever it is that we need. You can always find it here at this church. This is the only place in Tulsa, and I think I've gone to every church that I found where this is a church where we help the community in so many different ways. Every Sunday, we give our plate away to a different organization, people that need us. And that's the reason I come here. This church has been here and stood for all people. And I'm hoping that in the future, my kids and my grandkids can also come here and find the same welcoming people that we have now. So there's no place to me, as far as the church is concerned, that's like All Souls, because home to me, my home, is always comfort. It's always a place of where I can go and find peace. And you can come here every Sunday or whatever day you come and find peace.
And now we will gratefully receive our offering. If you are a first-time guest, Thank you. If you're a first-time guest, please stop by and visit our fellowship hall for refreshments or the book table for your next read. And now, as we extinguish our flame for our chalice, whatever we can do or dream we can do, let us begin it this day. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So may we be bold in our living and our loving, our giving and our forgiving, so that the world awaited becomes more nearly the world attained. Know that you are loved and be loving.